Let's move to our next guest, and we're going to bring on Frank Segarra, Connexicore. He's the president. And Frank, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. You are a 26-year veteran in technology industry, and I wanted to just stop right there, let you give us the highlights of your background so the audience gets a chance to know you. And then I really want to go into the benefits of these drones, these UAV drones, and what you're doing on enterprise level with that.
Sure. So my background in technology goes back, I was an 11-year-old boy, and I used to play around with CB radios in the early 70s. And as I really got into communications, I wasn't really satisfied with the output of the CB radio. Citizens band radio only output 4 watts. So I used to pick up popular electronics magazines and basically taught myself how to modify the circuitry to be able to talk much further. Turns out I was talking skip radio and communicating with other countries, which was illegal. And I had the FCC knocking on my door saying, hey, you're not allowed to do this. And, oh, by the way, I'm only an 11-year-old kid. So it was kind of a fun time in my life. And at that point, as I got a little bit older, decided to join the Navy on an aircraft carrier and studied avionics, which has really what got my start into things that flew around in the air.
Okay, so Connexicore comes to the surface now.
Yep.
Tell us about it. What does it do? And then let's get into some of the topics.
Sure. Well, Connexicore is a national drone flight services and consulting firm. So basically, we provide enterprise services using drones, and the drones allow drone fleet operators to configure missions in the cloud. So we have a technology where we utilize a cloud platform to deliver the mission configurations, which meets our client-specific business requirements. And we configure those projects ahead of the actual mission, and our pilots have the luxury to scale faster and easily manage complex processes by building these missions in the cloud. So Connexicore, we deliver aerial views of job sites by monitoring, measuring, communicating progress quickly, and we serve multiple industries, commercial and residential real estate, architectural engineering and construction, energy utilities, insurance inspections, agriculture, public safety, just about everything.
Let's drill down into this right now. Drone technology, it's changed from just somebody goofing around with it to people that are, putting commercial airplanes at risk, to industry now adopting it and moving forward with this. So bring us up to speed on your industry sector.
Sure. Well, drones provide mapping. So it's mapping and models that provide aerial views of entire projects. Each map includes a rich set of data that could be used to measure, analyze just about anything on the site. The drone data can provide 3D models of your land. The owners can fully interact with that data and use it to perform calculations, which might include measuring distance, area, volume. And these tools are ideal for getting measurements of construction sites, calculating areas, and understanding where equipment's locating. Although nothing really replaces boots on the ground, weekly drone maps can significantly reduce the amount of time that an individual or a crew would spend walking an entire site for the purposes of inspection and monitoring. So if an issue stands out on a drone map and warrants closer inspection, the built-in collaboration tools within the drone allow you to mark the exact locations and issues and make shareholders notable for those efficiencies. So it improves workflow efficiencies quite a bit.
I can see that this, definitely the United States, but what we're doing, but really in third world countries where, you got to get through the jungle or go through the desert or run, get over the mountain. I can see that this could be on an international scale, something that's very, very adaptable.
Absolutely. In fact, here in the United States, it's actually so regulated. There are so many processes to get onboarded as a certified remote pilot. In most of these third world countries where disasters are occurring, just about anyone can launch a drone. But here in the United States, because of population, because of airspace restrictions, it's pretty critical to make sure that you're following the rules of the FAA, that you're registering your drones within the FAA airspace, that you understand actual airspace, and that you don't create more problems and help people. But the drones themselves, they're kind of an endpoint for what's a bigger picture artificial intelligence paradigm that's happening right now in communications technology.
Yeah, I want to save that for the second segment, but I want to preempt this. There's was a very sophisticated person that I spoke to, must have been about 9 months ago, and he was also very wealthy. And I said, hey, I want to talk to you about this. He says, I'm putting every nickel I have into artificial intelligence for drones.
Absolutely.
Like, really?
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, he built some very big, some landmark stuff here in Dallas. And let's do this. Let's go to a little break now, and then when we come back, I want you to tell us all about what is going on with artificial intelligence, robotics, and drones. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back on the other side of this break with Frank Segarra, President, Connexicore. Connexicore.com is the website if you want to look it up while we're on break. We'll be right back. Segment has been brought to you by Lots of Yachts. Welcome back to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. All right, we're talking to Frank Segarra, Connexicore president, Connexicore.com. All right, Frank, I'm really lit up about this AI, artificial intelligence, robotics, and drones. What's going on there that one of the wealthier guys that I know of is all over this? I mean, he owns like big, 120-person jets. And he's going, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing robotics and drones. I said, something's up here.
Sure. Well, think of artificial intelligence as the 21st century equivalent of electricity and the internet. If you were to look at the paradigm, so artificial intelligence is more or less a collection of advanced technologies, so a group of technologies all communicating together that allows machines to sense, comprehend, act, and learn based on the information it's gathering. So in the example of drones, if we take let's say agriculture as our case study, a drone that's flying an agricultural mission would typically fly anywhere from 100 to 200 feet above a 50-acre crop field, and we call it crop scouting. And traditionally what's happened in the past is a human, an actual guy or gal would walk on the field, go into the cornfield, measure soil, moisture, look at diseases within that environment, and actually walk and sweat and walk and sweat. And all of that data would be input into a computer. That information would now go to the farmer. The farmer would decide, well, I need to irrigate. I'm just going to turn the irrigation on. We're in the drought. What the drone would do is the drone would do a flyover of that agricultural area and provide thermal analysis on the irrigation patterns within that field. So the drone itself is taking moisture measurements through its software, through its artificial intelligence, and telling the farmer, hey, this area here is lacking in irrigation. And now that farmer can concentrate those irrigation efforts in more of a localized way. So you're getting a much more efficient workflow pattern for irrigation and identifying where crops are, say, suffering from disease and whatnot. And we can get as close as actually counting the amount of crops on the field. So, as professional farmers go out and they plant for corn, they're planting every 2-3 feet a seed, and that seed grows into a corn stalk. Well, the drone will actually count and identify how many stalks or how many individual plants are actually germinating within that field. So there's an enormous amount of data that can be gathered from a drone in its most simplest form, and that's kind of a component of its artificial intelligence capabilities. There are lots of other areas of AI, but the drones, as an example, in agriculture, that's exactly what they do.
I just get the real distinct feeling that this is really just the tip of the iceberg of where you're going with AI and drones. I mean, everybody always goes straight away military AI drones, but there's so many other applications I can see that this is
Sure.
a massive. Tell me about your product mix for your company. I mean, thanks for educating us on the overall scope of what's going on in this sector, but
Sure.
what's your company doing?
So we are traditionally, we come from a traditional IT, telecommunications background. So I've been in telecom now in a software and hardware capacity for over 20 years. So my experience has been working with enterprise customers, deploying telephone solutions, conferencing and collaboration solutions, both software and hardware. Well, around the early turn of the 2001, 2002, this paradigm shifted to the cloud, and everything now is being stored in the cloud. So today you have IBM, you have Microsoft, you have Hewlett-Packard, just about even Amazon. If you think of a traditional cloud player, Amazon is the pioneer in it. So with everything moving to the cloud, you have all these antiquated technologies now that are legacy products sitting on-premise in a lot of enterprise data centers. So now they're all moving that technology out to the cloud, and by having that background in cloud technologies in the IT background that I have, I took that information and I overlaid it into this new paradigm, which is artificial intelligence, and more specifically drones. And I've married the two, and I've utilized my knowledge, my background, and my infrastructure in the cloud to leverage drone clients nationally versus just being a regional player. So that's kind of what Connexicore is doing. And today a lot of enterprises want to roll out their own drone programs internally. So we're there also to provide consultancy on how to best roll out a drone program within the enterprise. And we see companies like insurance companies that are doing claims, construction companies, large AEC companies out there. Those are the types of industries that are seeing the benefit in having their own internal drone program. But I would say for the next 5 years, they're relying on a lot of outsource, such as Connexicore, for their drone programs to get them ramped up. So that's kind of what we do. We're end-to-end solutions. They could be anything in the cloud, but right now drones are hot. AI is hot, and as the industry starts to grow, the need and the adoption rate's going to grow as well.
Well, knowing that you're more technologically inclined than most people, and you're talking about AI, how, looking at it from, say, an investor perspective, how are you getting to market? I mean, what do you have a digital marketing strategy that you're working with, or you got to find some way to bring the clients to you rather than
Sure.
chasing them down and clubbing them and dragging them to the front door?
Sure, absolutely. Well, with the advent of SEO, so search engine optimization within our website, if the website is dynamic and you are active on social media, it's funny because 5, 6, 7 years ago I was anti-social media because I thought it was for kids, millennials, teenagers, whatever. But now I see the value in really multiple touch points. So if your website is dynamic and you are interacting on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, if your blogs are talking about what's interesting today, the algorithms that Google has built into its platform they're going to take note of that, and they're going to drive traffic to your website transparently in the background. So we actually we provide nonstop multimedia touch points. So we're getting impressions on our LinkedIn profile and on our website. That's basically how we digitally make the public aware of us.
Got it. Frank, we got to go, but it's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you, Michael.
You're
Have
welcome.
a great day.
You too. Frank Segarra, President, Connexicore, Connexicore, CONNEXICORE.com.